Welcome to my tutorial for Crazy Taxi for the Dreamcast. And I'm going to explain how to get the ending of the game. What you want to do is you want to enter arcade mode and go to play by arcade rules. If you go to work for 10 minutes, work for 3 minutes, if you put those modes in, then what happens is you can't get the ending. Because I got an S ranking on the 10-minute mode, thinking that the setting it to 10 minutes would give me a benefit with all that time. And I was not able to complete the game because there was no ending. So to get the ending, make sure you follow that. And go on options, set the traffic and time difficulty settings down to the lowest. And you'll still be able to get the ending, and that'll give you the best chance of beating the game. I also like using the female character. She doesn't seem to have the best top speed when she's fully accelerated, but she's a lot quicker, and her acceleration seems a lot better, her initial acceleration. So she can come from a dead stop, faster than some of the larger cars I found. So I found I did a lot better with her. So part of the game is going to be memorization, getting kind of used to the city and where some of the stops are at. After you do them enough times, you'll start to know them without even really thinking about it too much. I started to get some of it down within the 2 hours and 26 minutes that I played the game recently to beat it. And I would have been able to beat it sooner had I did this arcade mode from the start. But, I didn't realize that this was the only mode that was beatable. So, the main thing is not to use your brakes. I would recommend always having your finger on the gas. If you want to go a little bit slower, maybe release the gas a little bit. But it's usually good to hammer the gas down and make the turns real tight. Just hit your turns at a sharp angle, and you can kind of slide a little bit around corners. And you don't really want to use the brakes unless you're coming to a full stop, I found. Like, when you drop someone off, you have to come to a full stop for it to count. And when you pick somebody up, you have to also come to a full stop. But aside from that, I really tried not to use the brakes. There are some more advanced techniques by shifting in the reverse and then back in the drive. You can get a little bit of a boost, I think, or you can also start up faster from a complete stop by doing that. Now, this is what I read. I didn't use any of those techniques. The only thing that I used for accelerating from a dead stop is sometimes if you just hold the gas down, from a dead stop, your wheels will spin in place and you won't move for a few seconds, which can be a big time waster. So it's usually better to tap the gas a few times gradually to come out from a dead stop, I found, rev up the engine. But aside from that, in this arcade mode, you have to keep your timer up. So it's not like the 10-minute mode or the 3-minute mode where you have a set amount of time no matter what. In this, you have to keep your timer running by dropping off people fast enough. You can also chain together, if you get enough near misses, like in Burnout, if you drive close to traffic, you get some extra money. If you can chain those together without crashing at all, you'll earn multipliers, which will, it'll give you more and more as you do it. You can also do some jumps. But the main thing, really, to get the money is going to be, keeping your timer up. So the green dollar sign passengers with the green dollar signs over them give the most money, and those are usually the longest trips as well. But it's good to try to get a lot of them when you can. I found it useful also to collect some of the shorter trips, like the reds. They don't give a lot of money. The red and the orange ones, you don't get a lot of money from them, but the good thing about them is some of the red ones are really, really short trips, so you'll end up getting there much faster than the added time bonus you get for taking on the mission. So you'll actually end up netting maybe 10 or 20 seconds extra to your timer. So it can be a good way to build your timer back up if it's getting low. Usually when my timer is down in the 20 to 30 second range, a lot of times I would usually try to go and get one of the green ones if I can, to boost it back up to 80 or 90 seconds. I like to boost it back up when it gets that low. But in the middle, I'll usually collect a few of the red ones or the orange ones just to kind of get a little extra time here and there, because a lot of times I can make the trips faster, and like I said, I can have an extra 10 or 20 seconds bonus left over time. Because every time you take on a new passenger, you get time added to your clock. And if you can do it faster than the time they give you, you net that extra time, and that's going to carry over. You also get second bonuses, like 5-second bonuses for dropping people off, picking people up, I believe. Or maybe just dropping people off, I think, is that you get a little bit of a time bonus whenever you drop someone off. But yeah, that's pretty much the basics. You don't want to crash too much because it will slow you down. But the thing that helps the most is getting used to the routes and the turns. After doing them so many times. After a few hours, you'll probably have a lot of it in your head. And, that's really, that's the main thing. And I like using this character because I felt like I was able to make turns better and accelerate a lot better. After I hit into a car or something, I could get my acceleration back a lot faster with her. Even though her top speed doesn't seem to be the best. I'm sure it's a preference, though. Depending on your play style, you may do better with a different character. So try them all. They all handle differently. Gus, I believe, is more of like a tank type of car, which can kind of run through other cars without slowing down more efficiently. At least that's what I read. When I played as him, he did seem like he was decent for, kind of barreling through some of the cars, but he still did slow down from it. And he didn't feel as quick to me and as maneuverable. So after trying all the racers, I ended up liking this character the best. But I do recommend trying them all, especially if you're having trouble. It's the kind of game that, doesn't click right away, but after playing it a little while, you don't feel like you're really learning anything, but then it just clicks and you start having better runs. It takes a little while. It's a little bit of a learning curve. It took me a little while for it to click for me. So, don't just play it a few times and assume that you're not going to improve. You should if you put a little time into it. Like I said, I only played it for about 2 hours and 26 minutes, and I, was able to get decent enough to complete the mode at least. I could also, always turn up the traffic difficulty to the default or higher and the time difficulty, but I was just looking to beat the game. Initially, I spent a lot of time because I wasn't sure how you get the ending in the game. It's not clear how to get an actual ending. Because I usually don't consider a game beaten if it doesn't have some kind of ending, or if the game loops, of course, then I will consider that beaten because it's pretty much all the game has to offer. So it doesn't have to have an ending credit screen for me to consider it beaten. But I try to get those ending credit screens because that's usually a pretty strong confirmation that you completed the game or whatever mode you were working on. But I think this is the only mode that has an actual ending with credits. So to get the ending, you need to get $5,000. That's all you have to do. You have to play this mode set to arcade rules, and you can turn the traffic and the time difficulty all the way down to the lowest difficulty. But you have to go into arcade mode and then go play by arcade rules is what you have to select. And then all you have to do is get $5,000. So already I have the $5,000, so I've already beaten the game. Now I'm just trying to see how far I can get, before the timer runs out. Just for fun. But at this point, I had already accomplished what I set out to do with the game, so I will definitely be working on Crazy Taxi 2 some more and trying to beat the other entries in the series. Crazy Taxi 3 I don't own. That's actually on Xbox. I'll consider picking up a copy of that and beating that as well. I'll probably finish the other ones first, though. I've been playing through so many games, it's not really a priority to clean out this series. But after playing this, I was having a lot of fun and made me want to go and victimize the other games in the series. Because I'm always looking for easy victims to kind of bulk out the list. I mix in the really hard ones too, but you got moderate, super easy, super hard. It's kind of a mix on my channel of games that I play through. The channel really is just showing what I play through, that's all it really is. This is what I do normally. But it's cool to document. And I do add some extra things like tutorials and things like that are cool to document. But yeah, so here you see the final. If you get the S rank, you beat the game. And you only need to get $5,000. So it may take you some tries to get used to the levels. but it's mainly just getting a feel for the game. It's kind of like the memorization really does help a lot, and just learning the flow of the game, not using your brakes, just, always keep the gas down and make the turns as tight as possible. You just want to fly around corners and just keep going, and part of that is not hitting into traffic too often. But it is pretty forgiving with crashing, but if you're crashing all the time, you lose a lot of time. What I found I really had to do was kind of balance the type of fares that I picked up. Like initially I tried going for all the green fares because I read online somebody said that's the best way to play the game, and maybe it is for like a high score or something like that, but I was just trying to beat the game. So when I went for all green fares, the highest paying and longest distance fares, I didn't get very far. I would end up doing much worse and running out of time. So what I ended up doing is mixing it up. I would do the green ones often when they were around and available. I wouldn't try to go out of my way to find the green ones because then you waste time looking for them. So I tried to do the green fares whenever they would pop up and I would see them, I would grab them. But other than that, I mostly did the red, orange, yellow ones, whatever was available. If I could get a higher one, like a yellow one, I would always take the higher one most of the time. And then I would use some of the red and orange ones to kind of fill out my time because some of those are so close. The red ones especially, some of them are such short distances that they give you an extra 10 or 20 seconds because for some reason they think it's going to take you longer to get there. So you end up netting some extra time. So experiment with that. If you're having trouble, try switching up. Don't just go for one color. Try, getting maybe the greens whenever you can, like what I did. And if you can't get them, then grab the closest available one that you have, Also, if you set it up right, sometimes when you drop off your fares, you can drop them off right in the location where the next person, the next fare is waiting, and you can grab a fare right away without wasting any time. That'll save you some seconds, too. It kind of swaps them out. So keep all these things in mind, and that's pretty much all I really did, and practice the game. So thanks for watching.